Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 20th. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. Good. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Right. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the liquidity chart. Start over here on the daily. Good. Going down to the 8 hour. Going down to the 4 hour. Going down to the 2 hour. Going down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30-minute. Change this to red. Down to the 15-minute. And down to the 10-minute here. All right, guys, so I marked up liquidity over here. As you can see, closest levels of liquidity is going to be above at 38,598, and the lower level is going to be over here at 38,550. You can see prices pretty much going sideways right here, so it's likely to break out on open in either direction. So we'll see what happens in market opens. Going over here to our clean chart, I'm going to go ahead and mark up 6:30. Eight o'clock. Mark that structure up right there. That structure up right there. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Mark structure up right there. And that's about it. All right, so with that said, we have the 4 hour support down here. So we have the 4 hour support level right here. Price is looking like it's going to bounce off it. That's pretty much it for now. So we'll see what happens here when market opens. So guys, you'll see that there's another chart here. There's one chart here for the breakout version 3, and there's one chart here for the PRB. And then of course our main chart over here as well. So if you guys sat in on the mentoring session from last week, on Friday, we went over some data and we looked at the breakout V3, which is one of the original breakouts that we were using prior to the PRB and the PRB. And we put together that the breakout version 3 hasn't lost all February. So it's pretty remarkable, the data that I was able to pull. So here's a spreadsheet for it, as you guys can see. It's a win-loss ratio of 71.43%. Basically, if you took all the PRBs and the breakout V3s, there'd be no losses for the month of February up until the last couple of days of January. So I'm going to be applying both of them, PRB and the breakout V3. I'm just going to be focusing on these two breakouts. What I mean by no losses is that on the 29th, we won on the PRB and the breakout V3 would have lost. So that would have been a break-even day. The 30th, same thing, win, loss, break-even day. 31st, win, 30 on the first, both wins. On the second, win, loss, break even. So basically, if you counted all the days here, either both strategies would have won or both strategies would have won and one would have lost, making it a break-even day. So that's pretty remarkable because if you do the math here, it's 300 points in profit, 20 wins, 9 losses, win-loss ratio of 71%. Basically, you'd be at heavy profit for the end of the month. It's not even the end of the month yet. It's barely February 16th. So like on Friday, we lost the PRB, but the breakout V3 won. So that would have been a break-even day instead of a loss. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be taking both of the strategies. There'll be 2 separate charts, breakout version 3, and then also the PRB here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be splitting my lot size in half so that I can take both positions. So I'm hoping that by taking those two, I'll either be at break even or I'll be at profit for the day. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm doing 25-25, Patricia. So guys, me and Maddie did a pretty deep back test. We have to have them at the same because if we don't, then it's not going to be an even ratio. So I'm doing 25-25 for both the PRB and for the breakout V3. And just following this data here, if this is the case and this ends up being, the situation long term, then for the rest of the year, I mean, this could be the case where you'll just either have profit every day or you'll have a break-even day, which I think it allows us to minimize our risk for the PRB. So if you lose a PRB, you'll probably win a breakout V3, and then you'll either end up at break even or with profit, and then over time it's just going to keep adding up in profit. So we're in here for the long game, so we're not here to make quick profits right away. We're here to make consistent profits long term. Contract size, I'm going to be using a 6 or 8 contract, Jeff, because I typically use a 12. So half of that would be 6. If I want to increase a little bit, I might go 8, because like I mentioned, it's going to be a break-even day or a profit day. So from the data, it's been pretty great with it being either break-even or profit. So if I'm feeling like the day's looking good, then I'll probably go for 8. If I'm just want to stick to where I'm going, 6. And if I want to be conservative, I'll do 5. So if you want to be conservative, use 5 contracts per trade. If you feel a little confident, use 6. If you feel very confident, use 8, right? 8's going to provide me 1,000. That was a big spike rate. 1,000 profit per trade. 6 is going to give me about 750, I believe. And then 5 is going to give me a little less. So let's see, 5 times 5 times 25. 5 times 5 times 25. Yeah, so if you're using a 5 contract, it'll give 625. If you're using a 6 contract, it'll give 750 per trade. Using an 8 contract, it'll give 1,000 per trade. So basically I'm looking to make this much profit when using these contract sizes or break even. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So I mean, it's just up to your preference, guys. All right, so market is about to open. Looking at market over here, it looks like the trend is starting to shift bullish. There's no news today until 7 o'clock, so we don't have nothing to really worry about until then. So I'll mark up 7 right here. And for the breakout V3, guys, there's no cutoff for entry. I mean, the cutoff will probably be when you get off the live session, but there's no cutoff for entry. So the PRB is cut off at 7, but the breakout V3 can pretty much happen whenever. All right, so we do have a V1 pattern here. And for the breakout V3, we're using a V1 confluence. If you guys want to review what we looked at, just review the mentoring session from yesterday. Otherwise, I'll also explain it during this mentoring session as well. So we have a V1 pattern here. We're looking for a buy signal with a green candle after. If we get that, there's going to be an entry here for the breakout V3. So we're looking for a buy signal and a green candle to follow. Over here for the PRB, there's no entry for the PRB yet. So I will be looking at both of them here. So basically, I'm looking for a buy signal first. Once I get that buy signal, I'll be looking for the green candle to follow. All right, so price is coming down a little bit. If this is the case, this is fine. This is going to set up for the PRB. All right, so we got the print right there, Maddie, for the PRB. Trend is bullish. We get price come back down, shoot right back up. There goes the first print. There we go. We're looking for space now. And after that space, we'll be looking for the entry candle. All right, so possible space here. Another pending buy signal. So again, we're just going to be waiting for this here to give us another confirmation. So either space or either buy signal. No red flags for the BV3, Randy. It's just a straight up, it's like the PRB for the breakout. There's no restrictions and no red flags. Looks like we're gonna get space right here. All right, so we got the space right there. Andreas said not even when it overextended. No. So no restrictions means no restrictions. There's like literally no restrictions behind it. No red flags, no restrictions, no nothing. Let's see, Maddie said CNBC released that. Stocks are starting to fall for the week. Okay, perfect. And Home Depot slides after earnings. Solid. All right, so we got this right here. Another pending buy signal hasn't closed yet. Once it closes, I'll switch over to the breakout V3 chart. I mean, we just need that buy signal. The buy signal is going to be the key thing for the breakout V3 chart. Once that buy signal closes, I'll focus on the breakout V3. All right, so we close right there. I'll be focusing on the breakout V3 chart now. I'll just leave the pivots on here. The pivots aren't necessary, but I'll be using it here just to identify. So if this candle here closes green, this is going to be a breakout V3 entry. We have the V1 pattern here, rejection, buy signal. We just need a green candle here to close. Doesn't matter how big, how small, just got to close. And it's got to be like clearly green. It can't be, you know, bouncing back and forth where it turns red. So it's got about 15 seconds left on it. So about 8 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, entry right there. So there goes the breakout V3, guys, currently running right now. come back to the PRB once it retraces back. Okay, so and if this hits stop loss, it's fine because this is what I'm talking about. Like this is how they'll balance out. If this here doesn't work out, then the next trade will typically balance it out back to break even. So I'm not too worried because from the data that I pulled, it shows that it's either going to be both win or one win, one loss for break even. And that's kind of the good thing about having these two strategies that are one-to-one is that they balance each other out. I think that's a key thing that's good about this is that you're always going to have some safety net behind the strategy. You know, you might get in a little too early for a certain entry, you might get in a little too early for the other one, but then once the other one retraces back, you probably have another or a second opportunity to get in, and it'll typically balance it out. So there's just it kind of lessens the stress with taking just one trade a day. Because if you take one trade a day, then, you know, obviously you're going to be stressed out about, okay, this is the only trade I'm taking, and there's no way to really get it back, right? For this here, you have an opportunity to get it back with the next opportunity that may arise, which is going to be the PRB. So this is the breakout V3 that's currently running. And then the PRB, if it retraces back, there'll be an opportunity for the PRB a little later. It's not there yet, but we'll come back to that. I'll focus on the PRB now because that's kind of what we're looking at now at the moment. As price continues to, you know, obviously go back and forth, and you just got to let the trade breathe, guys. That's really what it is. You can't close out early. You got to let the trade go to wherever it needs to go, whether it's full TP or whether it's stop loss. You just got to let the trade run. And that's one thing that we discussed, you know, last week as well, is like, you know, when you pull out early, it's not going to be a one-to-one because you're just not going to have the equal amount of losses and wins, because you'll have partial wins and then you have partial losses, and it just never makes sense in the long run. So this trade here is just running. And then other than that, I'm going to be moving over to the PRB next. So still bouncing back and forth here. So unfortunately, my breakout V3 did not hit its TP. Now I need to move over to the PRB once it comes back down. So one loss right there for the PRB. It looks like it might swing back up, but it's okay. We just got spiked out right there. Well, I got spiked out. I don't know if anybody else is still in it. So now I'm looking for the PRB. We had price push up. We had space. We're looking for price to come back down and come back up. So this is going to be my second opportunity to get back in to basically break even for the day. So now I'm looking for this over here to provide my opportunity for the PRB. I'm basically looking for it to bounce off structure, come down, possibly hit off the structure right here, and then provide entry. If this candle right here rejects off the pivot, then I'll be taking this for the PRB. Don't have anything here yet. But I'm looking for it to bounce off the structure and then swing right back up. So there's no bounce off the structure yet. Probably on the next candle here. Not this one, but maybe the next one as it continues to climb around. So if I turn off the high lows right here, you guys can see it hasn't touched the pivot yet. So we're basically looking for it to come down and then shoot right back up. Nothing there yet. See this here. Let me turn off this alert because this alert's done with. All right, so I'm just watching for this to come down, come back up, basically looking for it to reject off the pivot there. Okay, so if this swings back up and rejects off the pivot, this is going to be the PRB entry. So this is why it's important that you guys take half risk, because either way, if you lose both trades, it's just like losing one because you're taking half the risk. And if you win both, you pretty much make a full TP on what would have been just one PRB. Maddie, would you take this here? I'm not going to take it. It's not a clean rejection off the pivot. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the next one. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, so that's why you take a half contract size, because if you lose one trade, you're only down half for the day, right? If you lose both, you're basically just losing it as if you would have just taken one trade. That's why you take half contract size. Because for the day, you're either looking to have a break-even day, or you're looking to have a full profit or a full loss. Right now, we're currently at a half loss because we only took half contract. And then if the PRB entry here wins, then you're gonna be back at break even. It's like you didn't take a trade for the day. So it's like a safety net for your position when taking the breakouts in the morning. All right, we'll see this candle right here. It's not rejecting off the pivot yet, so not yet, guys. Not yet. Yeah, just got to be patient. 640 right now. Looks like the breakout V3 was just a little overextended, but it's fine. It's the way that the strategy is applied. You can't use restrictions, because if you use restrictions, then it's not how the strategy is meant to be applied. So right here, I'm hoping that this candle here closes green and then climbs up a little bit and then swings back down. I don't like when it rejects on both sides. So we might get the double side rejection right here, Maddie. I'm not sure if you're looking to take this, but I'm probably going to have to take it because it's going to meet the criteria. So I'd prefer it to close green so that we don't have a rejection on both sides and then come down a little bit after for the entry. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said he took it last week, so he's going to take it today too. So there's no entry yet, guys. Again, we need price to kind of reject off the bottom. So again, right here, if this candle closes with a wick off the bottom, or if it closes green, this is going to be the entry for the PRB. For the most part, I prefer it to close green. If it closes green, this is going to be the PRB, and then I'll be entering here for the entry. Not yet. This is typical for today, guys. We're coming back from a long weekend, and today is Trap Tuesday. So just keep that in mind. Today's Tuesday, it's not Monday. So this movement in the market is typical for the most part. So if this here closes green, I will be taking it for the PRB entry. Got a few seconds left right here. And there was a PRB entry. The PRB entry is right there. Set
Order
alert
submitted.
right here. So there goes the PRB entry right there. So guys, just keep in mind, like I mentioned, today is Trap Tuesday. We're coming back from a long weekend. This erratic movement in the market is typical for a day like this. But we're testing the strategy, so I have to take them regardless. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday, not a holiday. This is the only way that we can test the strategy. It's up to you whether you want to take it, but for me personally, I'm going to take it on my accounts because this is the only way to know whether the strategy is going to work or not, because we have no restrictions. So it looks like
Order filled.
I don't have. I got an error on my Ninja Trader. So I got kicked out of the position early, guys. I don't know what happened here with my Ninja Trader, but I got kicked out like right here, like when it came down a little bit. Let me see if I have any more positions that are still running. But it closed me out for partial here. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Didn't hit my stop, but it closed me out like halfway through. Oh, I think it's because of so one of the counts hit the trailing drawdown. Yeah, I think it was the account that I was doing the main account on. So that one closed out and then ended up hitting all the other ones. But the other ones are still fine. It's just that first account that I was using. It's one of my oldest accounts. That one hit the trailing drawdown, so unfortunately that one got wiped, but then the other accounts are still technically running. I mean, they're not running now, but they all closed out because of the copier. Yeah, that's happened to Nick before. All right, guys, so unfortunately today was a loss. But this today would have counted as just one loss. So like since I half my risk for my trade here, both of these losses right here counted as just one. So this is why I was saying if you guys want to take both of these trades, you have to half your risk, right? Because for here, normally I would take a 12 contract. And if I was taking a 12 contract on both, obviously I'd have a bigger loss. And I'll take a screenshot of my loss, of course, to be transparent with you guys. But this here was a half loss for me. So basically I was able to take both of these trades, but the loss that I incurred was only for like one account here. So for these here, this is just going to count as one loss. Typically, it'd be like about 1,500. And you'll see over here from my my accounts that is the case. So here, I'm going to take a screenshot of these here. Unfortunately, 2 losses for the day. Yesterday, they were both wins. So if you guys followed my postings from yesterday, the same entries came up yesterday. It was a full TP. This over here was this here was a breakout V3. This happened yesterday. We didn't have a live session, but I took portion of it. This right here is the full TP on the breakout V3 yesterday. And this is the full TP from the PRB yesterday as well. So 2 wins from yesterday and 2 losses from today. So basically, yesterday would have been a win. Today would have been a loss. It would have been a break even. But we're only counting this one, of course, because this is the one that we took on the live session. But as I mentioned, you know, I have to take trades every day. Even yesterday was a holiday and I still documented it and took it. And you guys can see my profits from yesterday because this here is how we're going to be able to pull the data so that we know if this is a good strategy or not, right? And from the data that I pulled so far, the strategy is good. There's just going to be certain days where, you know, both of them are going to lose. But the good thing about that is that they're going to be partial losses, or not partial, but they're going to be equal to one loss as long as you're using proper risk. So it's all good. Looks like I got to reset my main account. The account that got a drawdown was the first account that I ever bought. So I bought that account, I don't know, when it was like a month ago, and it was due for reset anyways. So I got to reset it. I think that's the first one that I've ever, yeah, that's the first account that I've hit the trailing drawdown, which is it's fine. I had to witness it at some point, and hopefully that's the last time I have to witness it. So there goes my first account there, or my first account that violated with Apex. I mean, that was a pretty good run. I've been going for a long time. I've been doing these once a day strategies for the past what was it? Since like January. So like a month now. Since January 29th. So looking at the spreadsheet over here, I've been doing basically just one strategy a day. The only problem here that I kind of screwed up with was I was taking partial profits and then also, and this is how we learn, this is how we know how to adjust with the market, right? So the main problem that I was running into was that I was taking partial profits. So like on these days here that would hit, like for example, I think, what was it, last week, Nick? I know Nick had the same problem too. So last week over here on Monday, Tuesday, I took a partial win. If you guys remember on Monday, Tuesday, I only took like a couple points on these two. So what kind of ate into my account was the losses from last week, right? So these losses from last week, these ate into my account because I kept taking partial profits. I took partial here, and then it would just keep eating into my profit. So my max drawdown would keep climbing down. And the problem is that I was taking too big of a lot size or a contract size. I was taking a 12 contract when in reality, I should have been using less than a 10, right? Because I was trying to pass right away. And it happens, you know, I got FOMO here and I just ended up pulling early. I got nervous and I pulled early. But moving forward from this data over here, it shows that I just have to let the trades run, right? Either to full TP or full stop loss. And I should be good because we never have like back-to-back losses. If you look over here from January 29th up until February 16th, it's either win, break even, win, break even, win, lose, win, lose, win, break even, right? So you just got to let the trades run to full TP or full stop loss. And that's kind of where we're going here. So unfortunately, one of my accounts was blown on apex, my first account ever to be blown. And now I know what happens. So in the future, I'll know that if I get liquidated on, a specific account, that it is because of the trailing drawdown. So yeah, I'll be resetting my accounts or my account today, and then I'll be back with the fresh account tomorrow, I guess. So we'll see. See camel cities, we can see the sessions. So there's the sessions right there, guys. But yeah, we'll still look for some official entries here, guys. The other entries, the breakout, or so the breakout V3 continuation and the V1 variation with confluence. Let me take a screenshot. My account looks horrible right now because it's a losing day, which I was hoping today would be at least a break even, but it's okay. The reason why I took, and you'll see that I lost more profit today. The reason why I took an 8 contract was because I already knew that first account was going to be into drawdown. So I kind of figured if I'm going to reset my accounts, I got to go all out today, because if not, then I got to pay full price for the reset tomorrow. So this is going to explain why my profits, my losses are a little higher. But tomorrow I'm going to go back to 6 contracts. So let me put this over here real quick. And this is just the game of trading, guys. This is just how it is, right? This is just here are my losses for the day. My losses look really bad because of the increased contract size, but tomorrow I'm gonna go back to 6 contracts. So here are my losses right here. I mean, technically it would just be 1 account. So that's what the losses look like, obviously. But if I had to win, it'd be opposite. It would look like this. So it looked the same, but just in green, right? 1,300 per account. But you'll see that my losses here are a little bit higher because I knew my main account was getting close to the trailing drawdown because of the other losses. And you can see over here that it was 1,800, 1,900. It should have been around 1,500, but it's just slightly higher because of the increased contract size. I added 2 contracts to it. So it's all good. It happens. But you guys can see here that because I took half contract size for both of these trades, I didn't lose like 3,000. I only lost like 1,800. It should have been 1,500, but because of my increased contract, it was slightly more. So there's another V1 confluence right here, guys, and there's another breakout V3 setting up. However, it's right at the session, so there's not going to be any entries here for that specifically. For the breakouts, there's no red flags, so we take every entry that comes up. But for the negative risk reward entries for the scalps, we would still use the red flags here. So, what's up, FX Trap? How's it going? All right. Jackson is asking, Tradeovate says, I cannot trade YM1. Did you try what? You have to go to YM. So I responded to you in the chat, Frederick. So you go to YM 2024, or here, just go to type in YM, click the drop down, and click this one right here, YMH 2024. It's for the March contract because you have to trade the specific contract. That's how you would trade directly on it. Because there's different contracts per cycle. There's like March, February, or there's March, December, etc. Like each season. And if you go to YMH 2024, it should let you trade on there. Let's see. Let's see. Kenny said a couple weeks ago the breakout V3 had red flags. What made you change it to no red flags? The breakout V3 and the breakout V3 continuation are different, Kenny. We haven't applied the breakout V3 for like a really long time. So the breakout V3 has always been no restrictions. It was if you're applying the continuation, that's where it has restrictions. And the reason why I didn't apply the restrictions is because from the data that I pulled here, none of them had restrictions. So pretty much all the data that I pulled here for the entries. Anything that doesn't say PRB is a breakout V3 entry. So basically everything that I've tested hasn't had any restrictions, and they're slightly different. So the actual breakout is different from the continuation. Continuation is a negative risk reward. That's why we have to have restrictions, because if you lose a regular breakout, then you'll kind of get caught in a downward spiral, right? Because you're doing a 3-to-1 versus a breakout where it's a 1-to-1, where you can take trades regardless of the fact, and it should balance out. Yeah, because they're slightly different. Because the breakout, the regular breakout just happens once a day. The breakout continuation can happen pretty much all throughout the day. It's just you have to like be careful for red flags so it doesn't go against you. I mean, there was a red flag here, I guess, for the regular breakout because the sessions was right there. But I mean, it wouldn't make a difference. There still wouldn't have been any opportunity for us there. So, all right, let's see what else we've got over here. All right, Kenneth, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Other Kenneth, not Kenny, but other Kenneth. Yeah, no problem, Jackson. Or Frederick, were you able to get it working? I'm pretty sure that would have fixed it. But all right, guys, so it looks like liquidity up here got hit. So if anybody caught the liquidities over here, pretty much all the levels that I marked up over here, pre-market got hit. So this one over here, well, all of them pretty much. The lower level right here got hit. The one above it got hit. The one up here got hit. A lot of the levels of liquidity here got knocked out. So if you guys took any of these levels here, I think some of you guys did. You guys could have and should have made profit on this here. I didn't take any of these trades, of course, so I'm currently in the red for the day, which is fine, right? You got to understand and take losses. I think this is the problem. This is like one of the problems that I'm going to have to overcome with you guys, is that I'm not used to losing. So taking these breakouts here, I just got to be okay with just like taking the loss and then moving forward. I'm typically used to taking the other trades, the regular scalps. But I think in the long term, the breakouts are going to be, they're going to be more profitable because, over here, I pulled the data. So for example, right here, from all the trades from January 29th up until February 16th, these are all like documented from our back test. There's a 300-point profit so far. So for example, if we took those losses today, this would just be knocked down to 250, right? So with this right here, and this is going to be something that I need to work on, of course, with you guys. So looking at this data right here, if I'm trading a 6 contract, so I'm going to be trading 6 contracts on my normal account, 6 contracts times $5 per contract or per point. So that's 30 times 300 points. So basically, per account, I would be up, or sorry, let me just redo this. So 6 contracts times 5 points, or $5 per point times 300 points. So this is basically how much profit I would have per account. So I have 20 accounts, right? I have $9,000 per account. This is going to be from January up until February. So this is per account for this time period, basically half a month. I'd be up 9,000 per account times 20 accounts. I'd be up 180,000, right? So this is why I'm okay with eating losses here and there, because in the long run, the profits are going to add up. And then, for example, if I took that loss today and I incorporate that into this spreadsheet, so 6 times 5 times 250, I would still have 7,500 per account with profit times 20. That'd still be 150,000. So you guys can see I'm breaking it down here, the formula of like what I'm going to be doing for the next couple months, because just taking one trade a day is easier than looking for these smaller scalps, right? I'd rather just take one trade a day, And then if I win or I lose, that's fine because they're a 1-to-1. So if I win or I lose, it's gonna either break even or it's gonna make profit or it's gonna make loss, right? And for each day that I'm gonna be taking a risk, it's gonna be okay. So and I'll do the math here again. And again, there's no entries, guys, so don't worry. We're right at the red flag, so that's why I'm doing all this math right now. So basically, if I take a loss, I'll be losing. Let's see. So 6 times 5 times 20. Yeah, 25 times 2. So I'm going to be risking 1,500 to make 1,500, right? Either for the day, I'm either going to make 1,500, I'm going to lose 1,500, or I'm going to break even. That's what it's going to happen every single day. 1,500 is my profit or risk for the day. The win rate's pretty high. It's like 73%. We divide this by my max loss on the 150K count, which is 5,000. So I basically have 3 tries. I need to have 3 back-to-back days where it's just back-to-back losses. That means 6 losses back-to-back, right? Which is it's just never going to happen, right? So you can see over here from the data, there's never been even like 2 back-to-back losses. Today was the first back-to-back loss. But if you look over here from the data, I'd have to have 6 back-to-back losses to blow my account moving forward. So that's why I'm okay with taking these trades here, minimizing my risk and just taking it day by day, because I can see here that it's literally going to be impossible for me to blow my account. So I'm basically showing you guys how it's going to be impossible to blow your account and then slowly make profit day after day, if that makes sense to you guys, right? And I think that's the key thing with trading. It's like it's easy to make profit right away, but a lot of people can't last in the trading game long term. So I'm basically giving you the blueprint to be a consistently profitable trader long term. You take 2 trades, half risk, and it allows you to just basically flow with the market. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, today, unfortunately, was a loss. I was kind of expecting the loss today because, I mean, I was trading off of like my account that I knew was that trailing drawdown. I think my trailing drawdown on that first account was like 1,300. So that's why I increased my contract size to 1,500 loss, because I already knew it was do or die with that account. And because for Apex, so if you guys are looking to open an account with Apex, the discount expires today, guys. So just keep that in mind. The discount for Apex, if you guys used my link, it's going to expire in about 24 hours. So if you guys want 71% off and half off resets, I would highly recommend you do it today. I'm going to do it as soon as I get off this live session. I'm going to reset that account that hit trailing drawdown. It's only $50. So $50 for me to get a brand new account. I'm good with that. So that is the key thing there. That's my game plan. But other than that, we'll still be looking for entries. So nothing here right now. And nothing right here right now either. Camo said making that much money, will it go against the Apex 30% rule? What do you mean by that, Camo? Because the thing is, if I'm making 1,500 a day, I'm going to be within the percent, because I'm not making like a huge profit day one day and then making 0 profit the next day. So it shouldn't go against it because it is consistent, right? Every day I'm either making 1,500 or I'm losing. So that's going to be it's not like I'm making $30 one day and then I'm making 30,000 the next day. I think that's what they mean. So you can't like have like a bunch of days where you're not making profit, and then all once one day you just have a huge profit, and that's going to be like more than 30% of what you normally make. So it shouldn't affect, because that's a consistency that they're looking for. They don't want you to get lucky. That's what the consistency rule is about. They don't want you to just take some YOLO trades and then get lucky and then never get lucky again, right? That's just kind of what their consistency rule is. Yeah, it's not going to affect us because we're going to be making the same amount of profit every single day. You know, if you use the same contract size every day, you're going to be making about the same. If you're using a small contract size, you'll make like 500 a day per account. If you're using a 6 contract like me, which is on the conservative side, we're not conservative, but regular side, that's going to be like 1,500 a day. So it's cool. Yeah, no problem, Shannon. Yeah, I try to be as like as straightforward as possible so that you guys can understand my game plan and why I'm sticking to the breakouts. I think the breakouts are they're more of a you have more structure when you're taking the breakouts because they're one to one and they happen every single day for the most part. So you'll have a lot more structure taking the breakouts every day versus taking a bunch of different strategies, which is fine. If you want to be on the computer all day, then yeah, by all means, take all the different strategies. But for me personally, I'm pretty content with just profiting, um, within the first 30 minutes of the market and then just analyzing and answering questions for you guys. And my spreadsheet here is going to reflect that. So you guys will see from my spreadsheet here, it's going to reflect it because you'll see if you start to compare my profits versus somebody who takes a bunch of trades every single day, they're going to balance out. We're probably going to come out to around the same. It's just mine's going to be a slow, consistent growth. So you're going to see my account's going to look like this. This is what my account's going to look like because I'm either going to make profit, break even, make profit, break even, make profit, break even. And some days I'm going to have a loss, right? Some days I'll have a loss, which happens sometimes like today. And then I'm going to go back into my climb, make profit, break even. That's pretty much what my account's going to look like. For the other people out there who are taking a lot of trades, you'll see them make some big increases, then come back down super hard, and big increases, come back down super hard. Because you guys have seen this before. You guys will have days where you're making good profit and you lose a trade and you just go downhill and you climb your way back up, go back downhill. But at the end of the day, we're going to end up in the same place. We're both going to end up in profit. So it's just up to people's preference. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older that I just want something that's more stable. I think the breakouts are very stable. They're just chill trades that just kind of like you just take it once a day and then you don't have to worry about anything else. And I think that's kind of the thing that I'm looking for, so I don't have to be on the charts all day. I mean, if that's the case, then we might even eventually we might even just cut down the live sessions to like 30 minutes. And I think that works better for a lot of other people, right? Because if you trade between 6:30 and 7, you can get 2 breakouts within that time period. You can still work your job. And I think that works for a lot of people. A lot of people are still working normal jobs. So you can trade between 6:30 and 7, make your profit, and then go to your work, right? And then once you make enough profit trading, then you quit your job and you just trade and then you do whatever you want after 7. So I'm on the fine line of like wanting to just chill for the most part. That's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just chill and still make pretty good profit, especially across multiple accounts on Apex. And yeah, I just want to live a stress-free life and make profits and just trade for like 30 minutes. It seems like we're getting tighter and tighter. We were trading from like 6:30 to 8, which we still are now, but we're pretty much condensing it to like a 30-minute trading period where you can kind of just get in and out, not get caught in manipulation, and just go on with your day. And then you just rinse and repeat the process every day. Yeah, that's literally the goal, guys. Because I don't have kids yet, but when I do have kids, I don't want to be busy, right? I'd rather just take the trades and then be done and then have the whole day to do whatever I want. I mean, I'm pretty chill right now. Like if you guys have been following me on social media, like someone that mentioned to me the other day that they're like, damn, Sean, you're like living the life. You have like a new hobby every month. Like my hobbies are always changing because I have so much free time. I'm just busier this month because I'm doing the mentoring group. But other than that, I have a lot of free time to kind of just do whatever I want. Let's see. Let me scroll up real quick. Let's see. Frederick said my settlement date is March 15th. Does that mean I have to reach my profit by then or I lose it? Where do you see that, Frederick? I don't even know what you're talking about for the settlement date. Are you talking about the cycle? Because the cycle changes. So if you look over here, we're currently in the March cycle. So yeah, this cycle is going to end and then it's going to switch to the June cycle. It doesn't mean that you lose anything. It just you're switching to a different cycle. Like this contract will still be there. You're just not going to see volatility because nobody's trading on that anymore. Everyone's going to be trading on this one, which is June. So I'm not sure where you saw that, but if you can be a little more detailed with it, I can. But I don't think so. There's no deadline for trading, especially on Apex. For Apex, it's you pay the monthly fee and you just keep paying that monthly fee until you pass. That's why I was saying last month when it was 80% off, like everybody should have got their accounts for 80% off because it's like $60. So every month you get a free reset. And here's the thing too. And guys, there's no entries here, so don't worry, we're not missing anything. But for Apex, if you guys need a reset, what I recommend is log into your Apex and see when your cycle resets. Because if it's resetting like tomorrow, then don't pay for the reset because you're already going to pay for the free reset. You get a free reset if you blow the account. So like, for example, if you traded and you blew the account today on February 20th, and then your month resets on the 21st, don't pay for reset because you're going to get a free reset already. You only get a free reset if the account's blown. So just keep that in mind, guys. Don't double pay for your reset if your resets tomorrow. If your reset's like 2 weeks from now, then pay for the reset because what are you going to do for the next 2 weeks? Unless you buy another account. So just keep that in mind, guys. Nicholas is asking, where do you see your trailing drawdown? Do I need to calculate it manually? No. So if you sign in, yeah, whatever Nick said right here, Nick basically broke it down. If you sign into Tradeovate, just go to your account, drag it to your chart, and then go to your settings, and then it'll show you what your trailing drawdown is. That's how I knew where I was at. And that's why I kind of YOLO'd my account today because I was like, the resets expired today, so I got to reset today. It's like now or never for my resets. Nicholas said, don't lose an account unless you breach a rule. You have to pay monthly until you pass. Yeah, exactly. Vimal said free reset. Yeah, every month you get a free reset, guys. So that's the whole point of paying the monthly fee. So like, for example, um, I was thinking like, well, I mean, I kind of just explained it. So like basically, say for example, today I blew my first account that I ever bought with Apex, right? So I blew the account today because of the trailing drawdown. Say for example, I pull up my Apex and it says that my renewal date is on February 21st. If my renewal date's on the 21st and the account is violated, then on the 21st to give you a brand new account. Like you don't pay for anything. It's just, well, I mean, you pay for the monthly and then they just give you a brand new account. So it's a free reset. But say, for example, say today's the 20th and my account resets on the 21st and I didn't blow the account. See, I was $1 away from blowing it, right? Say like I was $1 away from getting to my trailing drawdown. If I didn't blow the account, you don't get a free reset. You only get a free reset if the account's blown. So you have to blow the account. That's why today I was like, okay, YOLO, because I'm gonna get the free reset anyways. So why not just take a risk and get past where I was aiming for. That's how the reset works. Yeah, Josh does a video on Apex FAQ, show you how to display your trailing drawdown. Yeah, if you guys want to look there too, so just go to the FAQ, guys. Type in trailing drawdown. I mean, there's, let's see. Is this the video right here? That you guys are talking about?
$100 behind that. Either trade or then
I don't know the video is. Here, I'll just put this video over here, guys. Guys, if you guys have any questions, just go to here. At atf.com, go to FAQs, and then you can find there's like a bunch of videos here and stuff. I'll just post this over here so that you guys can see it. There you go. All right, it's back to the charts, guys. There's still no entries here, so don't worry. There's no trend that's confirmed yet. I know some of you guys are still looking for the other entries here, but there's just nothing that's available at the moment. We're looking for price to come down. And it's just not there yet. Let's see. Kenny said, check this out. I've been testing out 1-1 breakout V3 type strat on ES. It's been pretty successful, 2-point TP, pretty profitable. So what's the data on it, Kenny? Is it better than what we already have here? Because this data is pretty good already. I mean, I've already tested it myself for YM. I mean, if you look at YM and ES, they're kind of the same thing. There's not like they move in the same direction. I could see how like ES moves a little slower, but they're making the same movements. So unless like the profit is more or the win-loss ratio is more, I don't think there's really a reason to switch from YM to ES. If you've done the data, then great. I'll look into it, but I'll have to do my own data research on that too. Because if it's the same thing, there's just no point in me doing that, right? I mean, it might look good on paper, but like, do you have the data to like we'd have to see the actual data, not just like, okay, I've tested it a couple of times and it looks good versus because the thing with like if I'm worried about risk, I just need to lower the contract size, right? It doesn't make a difference. YM and ES here, let's put them side by side. Let's take a look. I'm just curious now because can you mention that? Let's go over here real quick. Symbol's not the same. YM. All right. So let's take a look over here. It's actually like way different. Like their drop here was so huge compared to so I'm just gonna look over here at ES to see if the entry would have came up. There's no entry here for the breakout yet. No entry for the breakout. So there's actually no entry here for the breakout yet for ES. I'm looking at the PRB. There's no trend shift there yet. Trend shift was right here. Rejection, space. Looks like the PRB probably would have hit over here. I mean, it would have happened. Actually, no, it would have been too late. It would have been 7 o'clock already. So I'm just matching the two right here, Kenny. It looks like ES, there would be no entries here for the breakout. So that'd kind of be counterproductive for the breakouts. I was looking at the breakout V3. There's no breakout V3 entry that we're specifically would have looked for. Or actually, no, because this buy signal came up at 629. So we wouldn't even be looking at any entries until after. So there's actually no entries here for ES, which should be counterproductive for our breakout entry. I'll do some testing on my own, Kenny, but thanks for bringing that up. I'll do some testing on my own. I just looked at today and there's no entries for either of the strategies, which we're looking for an entry. I don't mind if it's a win or a loss, but we need an entry every day because that's the only way we could take the data on it. If anything for ES, it might come up later, which is gonna be even worse because I don't want to be on the chart for like 2 hours. But I'll take a look. Yeah, so Kenny said the ES strat is 1,000 profit, 1,000 loss at 10 contracts. See, the thing with that there is that we'll be capped. Like, say, for example, I build a foundation, right? So say, for example, I'm funded and I build a foundation and ES requires more contracts for me to make more profits. Say, for example, I build a foundation of like 20,000 profit. If I get capped at 17 contracts and I can't increase, then my profit potential is already capped at that point. With YM, since it's worth more, I can make more profit doing the same thing, right? Because if I'm doing 10 contracts on YM, it's going to be So let's see, 10 times 5 times 25. It's gonna be 1,250. So I'm still making more profit on YM versus ES. Yeah, so you took an entry at 7:02, but the problem is the strategy here is cut off at 7 o'clock. So if we were to apply the strategy at 7:02, then it just wouldn't work, right? That's like I'd have to make changes to the strategy with the time because it's a time-based strategy. So it just wouldn't work out that way. For me personally, I'd have to retest it, identify if like the entries come up after 7. If that's the case, then we push back the entry to like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And it just becomes a whole different strategy at that point. So no, I get what you're saying, Kenny. It makes sense for your preference because if you want to take a bigger contract size for less profit, but I'm looking at the long term because YM costs more, the volatility is higher. We already have the data pulled in for like 6:30 to 7. So we're already pretty much set. There's no need for us to change any symbols, but I'll take a look at ES. I still wouldn't be able to take it because they would probably happen around the same time, right? So it's like I got to choose whether I want to do YM or ES. And I'm already on YM. So that's a question that I get a lot too from a lot of people. A lot of people ask me like, why do I choose YM over ES? It's because YM is more volatile. All my strategy, I've been trading YM for years, so that's what I know how to trade. ES is good. I feel like ES is like YM's little brother, right? The S&P is good if like you don't like too much volatility because it moves a little bit slower. It gives you a little more time to think. But for me personally, I like fast paced. Like I want to know for sure if I hit my TP right away. But I'll take a look at it, Kenny. I'll probably do another spreadsheet on ES and I'll see like, when the entries come up. We'll kind of maybe set a time period for that. And if it works well, then I'll probably share the data with you. But I'm probably not going to switch to ES because it's just counterproductive for like what we're looking for long term and profit wise. Because on 150K count, you're capped at 17 contracts, right? So if I'm increasing my contracts to trade ES, I'm going to be capped at 17, which I'm going to be making a little less profit. So for example, here, like I said, if I had a cushion with my funded account, so say for example, with 17 contracts times 5 times 25, then that's going to be 2,125. This is going to be my cap for YM. For ES, if you're doing 17 contracts, I mean, it seems like it's less. I think it's like $3 a contract times 25. He'll be making substantially less. Or maybe it's not that low. Maybe it's like 4. So 17 times 4 times, 17 times 4 times 25. Yeah, you'll be making substantially less trading ES versus because I don't care about the risk. If the risk is gotcha, Sisu. Wait, 12.50? I don't think it's 12.50 because it's $5 for YM. So for Y, it should be less, right? Because Kenny said that on a 10 contract, he's making 1,000 profit. Wait, how does that make sense? Well, so if you're doing, okay, so this is the math, Kenny. If it's 12.5, because you said it's 10, so you're doing 10 contracts, right? Times 12.5 times 20, unless your TP stop loss is different, times 25, you should be making 3,125. That's the math right there. 10 contracts times 12.5 times 25 ticks. So you won't be making 1,000, you'd be making, because that's kind of what you said your ES strat. Oh, you're going for 2 points. Oh, that's way different. Okay. No, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about per tick. Because that's what we're trading per tick here. Yeah. Because you guys gotta be specific if you're talking about per points or per tick. Because we're doing per tick here per point for YM. That's why I'm doing the math by 25. Okay, I mean, whatever. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it's irrelevant to us. Because we're not going to trade ES. But no, thanks for the input, Kenny. I'll test it myself and I'll see. But just from like what I looked at over here, it just wouldn't meet our criteria, right? Because the entry wouldn't come up until after 7 o'clock. and the strategy is cut off at 7 o'clock. So if we're going to follow our requirements and criteria, the PRB would have happened right here. Trend would have confirmed, would have came up, rejected, space. Yeah, like you said, Kenny, the entry would have happened actually right here at 7:01. But it would still be the criteria still wouldn't be met at that point. So either way, I mean, I'm not going to switch to ES, but I will take a look at it and I'll see if it's something that's worth looking at. The only problem is that it's going to run pretty much parallel with YM. So if anything, I would trade NQ. NQ would be something that if I wanted to trade a second asset, I would trade NQ because NQ's moves different from what we're already trading. Because the thing is, if we lose YM and we lose ES and they're running parallel, that's like 4 losses at that point. I'd rather do YM and NQ or ES and NQ. Those would be the two that I'd be looking at. Or even gold. You know, you could trade gold too. YM and GC, ES and GC, NQ and GC. I mean, there's a lot of different options that you guys can trade with, but it's just up to preference. But guys, looking at the chart here, I know some of you guys are still looking for entries. You guys can see it's pretty clear there's no entries here because it's right at the sessions. Again, we need price to break out of the sessions in order for us to have any type of entry. The trend never shifted to a bearish trend. And it's still starting to climb up here, but we just don't have the opportunity for it to go up. Yeah, Kenny said he tested the breakout on NQ. It's not great. Yeah, I tested it too. I tried to do that before. In the past, I tried to incorporate NQ with like YM or US30, and it doesn't go well. It moves differently. I feel like NQ moves kind of similar to gold. If you guys have traded gold before, NQ moves like that because it's so erratic. There's so many different tech stocks in there that are so volatile, and they're just a lot of them are new that you don't really have control over like how it moves. The thing with YM that I like is that it's a basket of all the different types of stocks. You know, it has tech stocks, it has pretty much everything: bank stocks, financial stocks, energy stocks, etc. Versus NQ or NASDAQ, which has just tech stocks, and those things can be all over the place. So, and that goes back to why Kenny would probably like ES, because ES is even like a wider basket of stocks where it doesn't move all crazy. Yeah, Kenny said NQ is like a rabbit on meth. Yeah, it's too risky in my opinion. I see a lot of people who trade NQ and they just the way they trade it is like crazy. It's just super, super risky. I think NQ is good for like longer term holds. Like if you want to trade on a higher time frame, but probably not on the 1 minute. LT Rev is asking, did you say that Apex will change our account from personal to LLC? Do they change it on just the PAs or on everything? Well, I mean, each account is separate, Rev. So depending on you'd have to change it for like pretty much all of your accounts that are not PA yet. If they're PA, I don't think they'll switch it. But if they're all like in their evaluation phase, then you can still switch them. You just got to email them and they'll make the changes. Email them with the data, or not the data, but your information. Yeah, because it says, let me log into my Apex real quick. My Apex says LLC now. So you just got to ask them and then they'll do it for you. Yeah. So it says my company name and then my name after it. Just Kodi Kai Trades LLC and then Sean right after. That is how it looks like. Sisu said, don't let Steven hear that you talked about gold, right? Vimal said, very difficult to trade like hood pairs at the same time. Yeah, exactly. So this is a good point that Vimal mentioned. He said that it's very difficult to trade, pairs like that or like different assets because you have to adjust your contract size and your ATM as well, your TP stop loss. So that's another reason why I wouldn't trade them because it's just too much work. In the past, we tried to do that with FTMO, where I traded NASDAQ, but it's too much of a mess to Well, in better news, my forex trades are running in profit right now. So I had one trade that closed last night. I made about 500 and I'm up like 600 now. So even though I took a loss on my YM trades, I'm in profit pretty heavy on my forex trades. So I still trade forex, guys. I don't post about it and I don't talk about it, but I still trade forex and I'm still doing pretty good with forex. I think I started this account with like 5,000. I'm just slowly growing it up. I'm risking like 5% per trade and then I'm making a couple $100. So hopefully this closes by the end of the day and I'll have like another $1,000 here. And then my forex profits will cover my reset for Apex. So it's all good. It all comes full circle. It took a loss on Apex. Now I got to reset my account. I'll use my forex profits for that for the most part. So I'm not sure if any of you guys still trade forex, but I still do. But I swing trade it. So I just I check it at the end of the day. So basically at 2 o'clock every day, I look at the forex pairs that I trade, the major pairs. And if I see an opportunity there, I'll just take it and I'll let it run to its full TP. The other trade that I took earlier was NCD USD. So this is the one I took earlier, hit full TP overnight. It took about like 2 or 3 days to hit, but you can see here it's a swing trade. Same with these over here, AUD USD, swing trade's been running for 2-3 days. Euro USD running for 2-3 days. I don't use the Heikin candles I just use it for once I'm in the position because I like to see how it moves in the direction. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I can trade anything if I wanted to. Like if I wanted to trade gold, I could probably learn how to trade gold, but I just don't want to. Prefer to stick to YM here. Anyways, there's still no entries here, guys. As you guys can see, everything is still going sideways. It's going back and forth between the sessions right there. Here's our clean chart. I'll mark up some structure here so that you guys can see things better. All right, so there goes the range. Here is the range right here as price goes back and forth. Not really too much going on. Let's see, Williams asking everyone, is anyone here being booted off your DX trade on FTMO? I've emailed FTMO and confronted them asking for some resolution. So that's the reason why I'm not trading my FTMO right now, guys. A lot of people have been asking me if I'm trading the FTMO. I'm not trading it because I know there's going to be issues with them. That's why I'm not in a rush to trade my FTMO. I don't know why everybody's like in a super huge rush to get on DX trade and use it. There's going to be issues. So I'm just letting my account sit because it was expected for there to be issues, right? There's going to be like thousands and thousands of people trying to get on that platform. There's going to be issues. So that's why I'm not using them. So yeah, I probably won't use DX trade for like maybe another month, guys. There's going to be issues. Like the last thing you want to do is trade on a new platform that you've never traded before and blow your account and then not be able to open another account with FTMO, right? So yeah, exactly. CERN said as long as he's not forced, he's going to stay where he's at. Yeah, so CERN's going to keep using MT4. I know not everybody can use MT4. It's mainly the US clients, but yeah, I would just be careful using a new platform because that's kind of what happened with Top Step. If you guys remember when we first used Top Step, they allowed us to trade directly on TradingView and the whole system crashed within a week. And now they don't even allow it. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's going to be a lot of hiccups along the way, especially when nobody knows how to use it properly, at least not yet. All right, let's see. Let's see. Williams said he test placed all the trades in this AM with a 0.01 as a safety measure, though he's booted off after a few minutes. Well, yeah, so that's a problem. If you're booted off and you can't get out of the position, then you're going to have a trailing position that just keeps trailing and and loss, right? So yeah, I would just be Just be aware of that. Okay, gotcha. Yes, your TP stop loss already set, so you're not really worried about it too much. But yeah, I would just be wary of that there specifically. All right, guys, if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:34 right now. Price is not going anywhere. It's still within the structure right here of the sessions, just an area of manipulation. Here is our clean chart. As you guys can see, there's not really too much going on. This is a range where price is bouncing from. And we don't really have too much to expect here. It's just a back and forth movement. Vince is asking, how do I know how much my reset will be? Well, try resetting your account. If you go to Apex and you try to reset your account, it's going to ask you for a fee, and the fee will tell you how much it's going to cost. It's half off. So, I mean, depending on like what your account size is. For me, I'm on a 150K account, so my reset is $50. It's normally 100, it's $50. I don't know if it's cheaper for the other accounts, but I don't, maybe it's $50 for all of them. Yeah, let's see, reset. So guys, again, if you have any questions, check the FAQs here. How to reset an account. So this post was from 2021. So, and again, right here, Vimal, I think you were asking about how to do the free reset. So just go to the FAQs here, type in reset. It'll tell you right here how the free reset works too. That'll explain to you how that works. I'm not sure how much it costs. You have to. So it says $100 per trade of 8. I'm not sure if this is all account sizes. This was posted in 2021, so it's probably really dated. But I know for mine it's $100. So with the half off discount, and just keep that in mind. Just use this code, guys. When you guys sign up for the reset, make sure that you use this code that I sent out to you guys. Was it Junie or whatever it is, June Joner, something like that. Here, I'm gonna post it up over here real quick. Make sure that you guys use the code, because if you don't use the code, you're not gonna get the half off, and it's gonna be full price. So just I'll post the link over here so that you guys can make sure. And I'll post it over here as well for you guys on YouTube. No, I'm just not gonna post on YouTube. It's too long. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, yours is 52. It's all good. I mean, if it's cheaper than the monthly, then I would just reset it, because you can probably pass within a month and you don't have to pay that month fee. But yeah, the only time I would do, like, I would try to figure out what's cheaper, right? Is it cheaper to reset, or is it cheaper to just buy a brand new account? Right now, I think it costs more to buy a brand new account, because it's like $90 with a 71% off. So if it's cheaper to buy another account, Vince, then you probably should buy another account, right? I don't know what account size you're using, but just factor in the pricing. So like when the reset's normal price at $100, it's cheaper to buy another account. Right now, it's cheaper to get a reset because it's half off, which is $50. So whatever's cheaper, that's the gotcha. Yeah. So yours is 150K. I would just go with the reset because it's $50. If you were to buy another 150K account right now, like a brand new one, it would be $90. So yeah, it's cheaper to give the other code. Yeah, Daniel said if you bought the accounts during the sale, you don't need to enter any code. It just stays at half off resets. Gotcha. Yeah. So if you guys use the code that I sent you guys before, then your resets are already covered. You don't have to put any codes in. But if you're opening a new account, then you would have to put the codes in to get the discount. So if you guys already use the code, you guys are fine. You guys are just gonna have the automatic discount every time you sign up. That's why it's key that you guys use the code, because if you don't, then you're gonna be screwed. Like imagine paying 317 for a Trade of 8 account or for a 150K account, right? That's how much it would cost to buy like 3 or 4 accounts. So it makes sense to use the code because you get the discount from it, which is always going to be nice. I mean, I'll take a discount any day. I don't care who gives me the discount. I think when I first signed up for FTMO, like I saw this discount code and it was so cheap. Like I didn't even know who it was from. I didn't know if it was legit, but I clicked on it and it gave me like it was like half off too. That was a long time ago when FTMO was first coming up. Let me scroll up real quick. Joshua said, hey, Sean, in the future, I can look up FAQs for folks who don't know how to read so you can focus on the charts. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, you can find everything on, like, I even go on here myself. Like, whenever I have a question about Apex, I just go to FAQ. Again, you go to the website, atf.com. You go to FAQ right here. You could type in whatever question you have, and then most of the time it'll come up. So just keep that in mind, guys. I myself, I'm still new to ETF or Apex, that I even have questions myself. But again, guys, there's still no entries here right now. It's been within this red flag area for the entire session. You can see over here, price initially pushed up right here on open, and then it's just been ranging back and forth between the sessions all day long. It's Trap Tuesday, so this is normal for a day like this. There's another breakout B3 continuation right there. But yeah, other than that, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I will probably wrap this up for the day, and then I'll get off for a few and then get right back on for the mentoring session with you guys. So if there is anything that you guys have to ask, feel free to pop into the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to get off this real quick. I'm probably just going to reset my Apex account so I don't forget. And then I will come back live for the mentoring session. And if you guys are part of the mentoring group, the link will be posted in the mentoring group over here. So let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing real quick. Medusa said my rebuild is on the 29th, so it's kind of a tricky situation with the free reset. Yeah, it's the 29th is next week, right? So yeah, it is kind of tricky, Medusa. So for you, it would either be, I mean, that's like a whole another week. That's a week and 2 days. I don't know if, like for me personally, I wouldn't be able to hold off for a week and 2 days from trading unless you have like something to do within that time period. So I guess for you, you could either open another account and then get the free reset on the other one, or you can just wait, right? Yeah, it's tricky. When you're like a week out, it's tricky because you can't trade for that whole week, right? If you're just waiting for the free reset. Yeah, unless you want to pay for the reset and then take some riskier trades from like now until then, maybe pass. And then if you pass by the 29th, like I don't recommend it, but it's possible to pass within a week's time period, then you would not have to pay for the rebuild. Right. Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, you just have to you would have to kind of think about it, because it's like, okay, do I want to pay for the reset, be risky from now until the 29th and maybe pass by then and then get another free reset, or you just wait and then get a free reset on the 29th. I mean, it's just up to preference. For me personally, I would have paid for it. $50 is like, I think it's a steal because you're not going to get the half off reset tomorrow. So you'd have to think about it by today, Madhu, because it expires, the free resets, or not the free resets, but the half off resets expire in about 30 hours, 1 day and 6 hours. So you got time to think about it. But for me, I already know I'm not gonna wait a whole week not to trade on certain accounts, so I'm just gonna cough up the reset money. Which is all good. I mean, I think yeah, because my reset date is until the 13th. Damn, I just missed it, which is all good. 13th of March. I don't have any reset dates that are coming up soon. Actually, I have reset dates for my other accounts, but they're in profit, so I don't even need to reset those. My newer accounts. Yeah, it's just up to preference. All right, guys. So I think this is it for the session. I don't see any other questions here. If there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to come back on for the mentoring session right after this. So I'll post the link up in the Discord for the mentoring session. And I'll see you guys there. We don't have too much to cover. We just have to cover the PRB and the breakout V3. Other than that, there was no other official entries. As you guys can see from the chart here, there's been nothing here for the day. Price pushed up and then pulled back into the sessions over here. And it's just been going back and forth all throughout this area right here, unfortunately. So sideways movement, price has been kind of stuck in this area of manipulation. And yeah, let's come back fresh tomorrow, take the breakouts again, breakout V3 and the PRB. Hopefully tomorrow will be a lot better. I think it will be. And we'll bounce back from this then. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys in a few moments. I'm just going to finish setting things up, and then I'll set up the mentoring room and post it to the Discord in a few moments. So, all right, guys, see you guys.